Welcome to the Salesforce for B2B Marketing keynote. My name is Mike Costa. I'm the GM of Salesforce Pardot, and I want to first say welcome to everybody here in the room. The lights are bright, but I think this is a full house. I see some people standing in the back, which is amazing. I also want to say welcome to those streaming online, especially to my mother, who I know is watching us live today. So hello, Mom. The theme of today's keynote is evolution. The marketing profession is evolving at an incredible clip. The expectations of all of our customers are evolving. And on the theme of evolution, we are going to do something very different this year. We are evolving the keynote. We are going to hand the keys of the keynote over to our Trailblazers, Tracy Eiler, the CMO of InsideView, who you just saw, and Andy Butera from New England Biolabs. And they're going to share their stories of how they've partnered with Salesforce to transform the companies that they work for and also their careers. So we're doing something really, really different and really, really exciting. So I am super excited to be a part of this. But before we start, I want to say thank you. I want to say thank you to our customers for all that they do to inspire us. I want to say thank you to our partners for helping our customers realize the power of the Salesforce platform. And I want to say thank you to our team, who I see out here in the front, for all of the work that they have done to build these incredible solutions that you're going to see showcased here in this keynote today. And for those of you that joined Mark's keynote earlier today, I'm sure you heard him and our team talk about the 1-1-1 model. We believe business is the greatest platform for change. We give 1% of our time, 1% of our profit, 1% of our product to help nonprofits all over the world. Now this year, I am excited that we are partnered with two companies who share a very similar philosophy. And that's giving back to the communities in which they live. And so Tracy Eiler is going to talk about her Women in Revenue Foundation and how she's empowering new female sales leaders and bringing them into the profession, sales and marketing leaders. And Andy Butera has taken all the power of these incredible scientists at New England Biolabs and used them to help rethink how we're helping our oceans. And we at Salesforce for the last 3 years have been partnered with SPCA International. This is an incredible organization that is helping animals and their caretakers all over the world. And again, for the third year in a row, we've brought back what we call the Pardot puppies. So you come to Dreamforce to learn about technology, to be inspired. Some people last year went home adopting a puppy. That could be you. So we have the puppies on display again at Amber India, so I'd encourage you to go check it out. So I want to go back to where we started and talk about this evolution that's happening in marketing. We have come incredibly far in this profession of marketing. And it's really only the last couple of years where we've been able to generate incredible amounts of data and use that data to deliver personalized experiences to our customers and do it at scale. Now, we are now having interesting experiences in our consumer lives, which are translating back to the B2B brands that you represent. So let me give you an example. I am mildly obsessed right now with Amazon Fresh. Has anyone here used Amazon Fresh? Okay, some people. Amazon has made it easy. I don't have to go to the grocery store anymore, right? I can log on to Amazon Fresh. I can bypass getting in my car, going to the grocery store. It tells me what I've purchased before. It also tells me what it thinks I should buy. It has made my life incredibly easy. And that experience that I'm having in my consumer life, that's now the bar. And I am taking that expectation back to brands like yours. I am expecting that same level of service and personalization when I'm interacting with your brands, just as I'm interacting with Amazon. And so as marketers, we need to rethink how we're doing our jobs. Now, generating leads and revenue is obviously foundational to the role of a marketer, and that doesn't change. But it's now also about reaching those influencers and understanding the entire buying committee. And it's also now about understanding the entire customer lifecycle. And as a marketer, we're now responsible for that entire customer lifecycle. And you're going to hear a lot in this keynote today about how marketing is partnering with service. And those that have been able to adopt these processes, understand how to leverage this technology, we at Salesforce call them Trailblazers. These are Trailblazers like Janine Pelosi, who's the CMO of Zoom, Rochelle at Lyft, Rochelle at Lyft is somewhere in the back, I think. That's awesome. Let's give it up for Rochelle at Lyft. And two Trailblazers who we're going to feature in this keynote today, Tracy and Andy, who you're going to hear from in a couple minutes. But for many companies, they're still dealing with a marketing, a sales, and a service team that are building their own set of processes, their own tech stacks. They have their own set of metrics that they're using to guide their business. And those are great investments to make, and they may be helping those functions, but they're not aligned. Right? They're not, all that data is in different places. It's very difficult to do the things that are key to be successful in this new age of intelligent marketing. These are things like analytics, right? As a marketer, you need to be able to understand what's going on in your business. You need to glean those insights and be able to take action. It's very difficult to do that if you have data in different places. Artificial intelligence, which you'll continue to hear about as a theme here at Dreamforce, which is very important to us here at Salesforce. You can't harness the power of AI as a marketer if your data is in different places. And ABM, which is top of mind for marketers, and you're going to hear Tracy talk about in a minute, is really difficult to do if your marketing team is working over here and your sales team is working over here. That's why at Salesforce we created the Salesforce 360. For the last 20 years, we've helped our customers put their customers at the center of everything they do by bringing sales and service and marketing together on a single platform. And with the power of the platform, you get vision and voice and Einstein. And we built Salesforce for B2B Marketing on the Salesforce Customer 360. And we help Trailblazers like Tracy Eiler engage their buyers. We help her partner with sales to close more deals. And we help her to understand that entire customer journey and grow those relationships. And Tracy is able to do that with these incredible solutions that you see here. But like I said at the beginning, I'm not going to sit here and showcase these products. We're going to do this through the lens of Tracy and Andy. And to do that, I'm excited to welcome my good friend to the stage, who literally wrote the book on sales and marketing alignment. Please welcome Tracy Eiler.
To be here today, and Mike was saying that I'm handing the keys to the keynote over to you and Andy, like no pressure, right? I don't demo in my real life, so bear with me, guys. I'm going to try and do a good job. When I think about my journey to being a marketing leader today, from where it all started, I was only 16, and I was a sales development rep in a software company. My dad worked there, so I got the summer job. Lead generation was so different. No email, everything was physical letters and so on. But one thing stayed the same, which was the dynamic between sales and marketing. There was a divide. There was a divide in the processes, there was a divide in the people and the attitudes, and that divide is something I've observed but also experienced both good and bad through my whole career, which has led me to really study sales and marketing alignment. So if you're wondering, like, who is this lady up here talking to me, I really started witnessing what can go well and what can go badly, which is why I wrote a book on sales and marketing alignment. I actually have some copies here if anyone wants a copy. Came out 3 years ago. It's got a lot of research in it about why sales and marketing is challenging to make aligned and then what you can do about it. In my personal life, I like to make things grow. And we'll talk a little bit more later about Women in Revenue, which is a new nonprofit to help women leaders in sales and marketing. But I'm also obsessed with my garden and my super cute new puppy, Coco, who you can see right there. She's only 5 months old. So cute. So why am I here today to talk to you? I want to share InsideView's account-based marketing journey with you and how we've done that on the Salesforce platform. We've learned a lot. I think we're in our third iteration of our ABM approach. You saw a little bit about InsideView in that gorgeous opening video. We help Salesforce customers keep their CRM data clean and up to date and with go-to-market planning. So that's what we do as a partner. As a customer, we use almost every product that's in the go-to-market journey. And the example I'm going to share with you today is how we are going after enterprise accounts and new logo accounts. So these are businesses that we have no previous relationship with. They're going to be fresh blood revenue into our organization. And I want to show you how using Salesforce products we have done that pursuit. Now, I'd like to introduce you to my team first. So some of them are on that screen there. A bunch of them are wearing red in the front row here, because this really is a team sport, sales and marketing together, going after account-based marketing. And we are a lean team, like many of you are, so being productive is just absolutely critical. So I'm going to show you some of the ways that we've been able to do that. And we have a highly orchestrated approach to how we are going after our accounts and really trying to do this at scale. We have a number of new sales reps, and we need to feed them. So I want to show you how we did that. The screen that just flashed up here, and you were smart enough to go back to, you're going to meet in this journey my colleague Jo, who's on streaming. Hi, Jo. She is our demand manager, and then Steven, who's one of our top SDRs. So you're going to see how this whole thing weaves together. So let's dive in and show you our journey. So the first thing you're going to see is a product called InsideView Apex, which actually is an InsideView product, and we use this tool to pick our target accounts. And we're going after businesses in the United States with more than 1,000 employees. That's our definition of enterprise. In the business services segment, which is a great vertical for us. And in particular, when we think about the people in those accounts, because remember, accounts are the ones with money. The people don't have money. This whole transformation of account-based, qualified leads is really the way things are heading. So here, we are going after the operations persona, in particular, sales and marketing ops folks who care about data management, which is our main theme that we're going out of. So now we have our accounts selected. Now what do we do? My colleague Jo loaded those all into the account-based marketing dashboards. We're taking a look at that. And we're going to drill into a particular account, hypothetical account, we'll call it Acme, just to see, do we have any interaction with this account so far? And it turns out 4 people have been interacting with our campaign. So yay for us, they're not stone cold strangers like I was concerned about to begin with. So let's keep going and build a campaign to go after these accounts. Now, Einstein, and it's funny, the word Einstein is being thrown around a lot in all of these messages, in all of these different presentations. And we've actually got it working to tell us what campaigns are working the best, in particular for this ops persona. So Einstein recommended, hey, use this one to start as a base, right? So we don't have to recreate the wheel. So Einstein told us which campaign had been working the best, and so we're going to clone it in Pardot. And not only are we going to clone, what the email templates were and those sorts of things, but also landing pages and other assets, so that we can just very rapidly get something up and running to start. Once we clone that, then we're able to go in and make a few other adjustments, right? There's always going to be some kind of new content or something like that that you want to include. So we can go ahead and do that and then hit save. Now we're going to go look at the email itself. So the email content's all been written, but we want to do some modification, like for example, a bigger call to action button right in the middle in our beautiful InsideView red. But we're not done here, right? You got to test this thing. And being able to test how that email is going to show up on every device is really critical. We know a lot of people consume email on their phone. So we're able to do that pretty rapidly, make sure it's pixel perfect, which is really hard to say 10 times fast. Give it a try sometime. So now we know our email is going to be ready to go. So let's take a step back and look at a higher level at this campaign. This is Engagement Studio, which the first time we saw this, and about 18 months ago is when we migrated from a different marketing automation system to Pardot. And when we first saw this in a meeting, I was blown away, frankly, because being able to visually see the design of a campaign and to be able to have complex rules behind it, and then once your campaign is running, to be able to say little conversion rates through the whole thing just geeked me out as a CMO, being able to see kind of results blended together. So what we can see here is on the right-hand side, we have more complex rules in place. We're going after that operations persona. We're going after executives. So for directors and VPs, we have a special track. And we're going to test direct mail on that side of the house. And direct mail can be pretty pricey, right, to get it right. So it's a big investment. We got to see if that's going to work for us. And on the left-hand side, you can see sort of the normal nurture that we're going to put everybody else through. So that's Engagement Studio. And now, when someone comes to our website, which is usually the call to action, right, some sort of asset or visit the site, when they come to the site, we are using conversational marketing, a product called Qualified, so that when a visitor from our target accounts comes to the site, the person who's assigned to that account, in this case my colleague Steven, is assigned to Acme. When someone from Acme comes to that account, Steven gets an alert. So think about that productivity-wise. It's better for him, it's better for the visitor. And Qualified is even able to tell us, who is this person? And she happens to be a real person, Lauren Bailey, who's from the ops persona that we've been targeting. So that's telling Steven something about this account, which he's been really trying to pursue. Not only is he starting a conversation with her, he's able to see everything that she did on the website. Now, it turns out she's got some more complicated questions that really require a phone call, so he's able to quickly convert that conversation in the moment to a call and get Lauren satisfied with what she needs. So we're pretty happy with this kind of flow. To me, it's a very modern way to communicate with your customers, and we all expect it as consumers, as Mike was talking about at the beginning, so why wouldn't we be doing it here? So how are we doing now that, let's say, several weeks have gone by in this campaign? We can see, looking exactly at Acme, that we were engaging with more than a dozen people, so yay for us, the right personas, that's awesome, and a $250,000 opportunity that Steven was able to open, which is a really juicy, lovely opportunity, something that we'd really hope to get. But what did it take to get here? So one of the things that keeps me up at night as a marketing leader is, am I certain that we're doing the right things? Am I certain that we're spending money in the right way? And I'm never certain. It drives me crazy. Despite all of the metrics in the world, there's always a part of me that's doubting that we're doing it right. So with Einstein and with the Salesforce products, I'm getting much more close to certainty. So let's take a look at what's going on with engagement history with Acme, with this particular account. And of course, there's buyer groups in all these enterprise accounts. We're able to see what they're engaging with, what kind of assets they're looking at, what's most popular. Turns out our newsletter, like who would have thought that simple little thing was as popular as it was. We're able to see what's not performing, which is really critical, because as a marketer, you're always being asked to do new things. So you gotta stop something else, right? So this is gonna help me decide what to kill. And then we can see all the people in that account, because we know there's buyer groups, and we can see what they're engaged with. So imagine how much faster we're gonna be able to move this opportunity through the pipeline when we're talking to all the right people. Now, what did it take for sales to get here, right? This is not just a marketing pursuit. And so when we go in and we look at our account-based marketing dashboard, we can see what it's taking sales to do to get there. And enterprise account pursuit is a very time-consuming thing. You can see there's more than 60 activities that the sales team has had to put together in order to get through to this opportunity, to this stage. Now, what gets credit for all of this? We've been spending a lot of money and a lot of time on different campaigns. Let's go look at attribution. And so Einstein is helping feed multi-touch attribution. This is Acme in particular, like we said, 250,000. We can see here that direct mail is really, really getting a lot of the credit for this particular opportunity, followed by, of course, our email and other web-based marketing. But is that telling us the whole story? Let's go back and look at all of those accounts that we had loaded in to begin with after we had selected them. We can see all the opportunity that we've created, and we can see across everything that we're doing really where the credit is deserved overall, and then we can make good decisions about what to do next. So in this case, web marketing is really the thing that is paying off the best for us. We need to make sure that we're doing that really, really well. So what did I just show all of you, right? We are talking about the journey of account-based marketing and how you go about putting together your strategy. We picked our accounts, we spent time on that, and we figured out an orchestrated approach using the Salesforce products, Pardot and CRM, beautifully synced together, sharing objects, so integration in one platform is really, really key. We put together our campaigns super easily. We cloned something that Einstein thought was gonna work and got that going. Our customers are having a conversational experience with us with Qualified, which is really starting to change the game, speeding things up quite a lot, but more importantly, it's productivity for us and a better experience for our customers. And then finally, I have more certainty. I can see what our influence on revenue is. I can see where to spend our money, what to stop, and what to keep doing. So I hope this was useful for you. Thank you to Salesforce for letting me have this opportunity to talk about our journey. And welcome Mike back to the stage.
So thank you, Tracy, for sharing your story. Just quickly, we at Salesforce are totally committed to innovating on account-based marketing. We know your story is not unique. We're launching all of these new amazing features, but instead of me sitting here talking about them, I'd love to hear your perspective of what you're most excited about as it relates to ABM.
For me, it's all about what Einstein's able to do with multi-touch attribution. You know, we're going after these accounts. There's buyer groups. We know there's many, many people. So to be able to figure out what's working in order to capture that engagement it's a game changer.
Great. Well, thank you very much. Don't go anywhere yet. So I want to switch gears and go back to talking about your foundation. Bringing great female leaders into sales and marketing roles. I'm going to venture to guess that there may be some women sales and marketing leaders here in the audience. Maybe share a little about the foundation and what your charter is.
So exactly a year ago, a loose group of colleagues and friends that are leaders in sales and marketing got together and said, you know, there seem to be some good advancements for women in STEM jobs, in engineering and math, girls who code and things like that. But what about women like us that have sales careers or marketing careers? Where do we go? And there wasn't really a place. And so we put together Women in Revenue. It's free to join, womeninrevenue.org. Anybody can join. We have more than 1,000 members, so we're celebrating our first birthday. And we have a mentorship program, quarterly networking events, and a lot of really great content. And a call out to all of you in the audience, our brothers included. We need mentors for our mentor program. So please come, please join, send your friends, and get involved.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. I'm signed up as a mentor. We talked about that before.
Yes, you are. I'm happy.
Put me down, and I've got a few other people here I'd like to put down as well. Well, let's give Tracy another round of applause. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you. So we heard Tracy tell an amazing story of sales and marketing alignment and account-based marketing. Now I want to switch gears and talk about how marketing is partnering with service and really working to understand that full customer lifecycle. And to do that, I am really excited to welcome to the stage, all the way from Boston, Massachusetts, Andy Butera. Andy. Thank you.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. Come on. Yep. Okay, good. It's my absolute pleasure to be here this afternoon. As Micah said, my name is Andy Butera, and I'm the Executive Director of Marketing and Sales at New England Biolabs. This is actually my 7th Dreamforce. Somebody asked me earlier, how do I know it's 7? And I said, well, you count the bands, right? U2 and Bruno Mars, and that's my memory of these. But it's a great pleasure to be here, and I also want to start by thanking the Salesforce organization for giving me this opportunity to talk to you today about what NEB is doing in the realm of marketing with Salesforce. But before I get onto that, I'd like to actually introduce myself to you. Unlike, I'm guessing, most of the audience here, I'm actually a scientist by background, a microbiologist, in fact, somebody who studies very small organisms, bacteria, viruses, and often needs a microscope to do so. But to be honest, I wasn't the actual greatest of scientists. In fact, if you put me back in the lab today, I'd probably be dangerous. Danger to myself as well as to the other people in the lab. But I did learn a lot while I was in the lab, and things that I didn't expect would actually shape my thinking about marketing today. The first one is I developed many products for other scientists to use, and obviously the performance and quality of those products is paramount. But it also made me think about the whole customer experience. How easy is that product to actually open in terms of packaging? How easy is the protocol or manual to actually follow? And it gave me a strong belief that the customer experience is ultimately the source of all competitive advantage for marketing. The second thing it gave me was an appreciation for the experimental process. I think about all of the different marketing activities we do in these experiments, how you plan that experiment, how you carry out that experiment, and how you actually analyze the data after, so you can then repeat that cycle to overall improve the experience for the customer. And I'm sure many of you have done A/B testing for emails and the like. You can apply that same sort of principles to all marketing activities you're doing, whether it's testing pricing, images, packaging, concepts for new products, etc. Now let me also introduce New England Biolabs to you. New England Biolabs is a biotechnology company. In fact, one of the first biotechnology companies to be formed when we were formed a little over 45 years ago. We sell enzymes to molecular biologists. Now, I'm guessing that means nothing to 99% of you out there. So let me break that down for you. We describe ourselves sometimes as the Staples of DNA. You're familiar with Staples, the business office supply company that sells photocopiers, scissors, and the like? DNA, you probably also heard of, that molecule that's at the center of cells that transfers from one generation of cells to the next to tell them whether they're going to be a heart cell or a kidney cell or a lung cell or what have you. Well, we combine the two. We sell enzymes that are photocopiers of DNA, copy those DNA molecules. We sell glue that actually sticks pieces of DNA back together, other enzymes, and enzymes that act like molecular scissors that cut DNA at specific sites on the DNA. And what our researchers, our customers actually do, and these are scientists in hospitals, universities, pharmaceutical companies, and other biotech companies do, is they use these tools to study the DNA, understand what in that DNA might cause disease. Could be cancer, could be Alzheimer's, could be what have you. And by understanding the basis of that disease, then hopefully they can develop diagnoses for them, as well as potentially cures. Now, more like many of the audience, we have our business challenges that actually affect the way we do our marketing. The first one is the worlds of B2C and B2B are definitely merging. Scientists, if you ask any scientists, they don't believe they're touched by marketing at all. But the reality is they're all humans, and they are. They expect us to have a buying experience on our website the same as Amazon. They expect our search engine on neb.com to work exactly the same as Google. So those sorts of parameters are things we have to think about. But they're in a B2B world, so there's multiple people actually deciding as to who makes the purchasing decision, as well as using complex e-procurement systems. Another thing is we're not the largest of organizations. We're about 600 people globally, and many of our competitors are thousands, sometimes tens of thousands of employees with much larger marketing budgets than us. So as a consequence, we have to think through how we break through all of their marketing noise to get our message across. And lastly, our value proposition is customer intimacy. As a consequence, in today's digital world, we have to think how we get these interactions to be as human as possible, how we make sure we have that one-to-one connection with our customers, even if we're not actually speaking to them live. What I'd like to do is take you on a little journey through the creation of a marketing campaign, a campaign that actually allows us to try and take market share from some of our competitors. So let's dig in. So, being a scientist, I love data, and as a consequence, I use my Salesforce dashboard on a daily basis. The dashboard gives me a perspective of the revenue that we have, the revenue at any particular time, split by product, perhaps split by customer segment, or split by geography. But also in this dashboard, we can bring in marketing data that tells us which customers are most engaged, which marketing tactics are actually working well or perhaps need to be improved. What really excites me, however, is our ability to bring in third-party data. In our case, we can bring in what's called citations. You may not be familiar with this, but a lot of scientists publish their work in peer-reviewed journals. And in these articles, they tell you what work they're doing, and they also tell you what products they're actually using to achieve that work. So this allows me to connect the dots and say, this scientist is using one of our, let's say, next-generation DNA sequencing products, but now I also know that they're actually a cancer biologist, perhaps looking at that DNA sequence in studying pancreatic cancer. So let's dig in a little bit. Let's look at academia. Here you can see the greatest number of publications. And what's actually happening here is Einstein is comparing our revenues at these different customers, the University of Oxford being there at the top, and comparing it with the potential by looking at these citations and seeing which publications have our products in versus our competitors. So let's dig in a little bit deeper into the University of Oxford and understand why it is that Einstein is suggesting this as an opportunity. And what we can see here is Einstein has uncovered there's actually a new researcher present at this university, a Dr. Patrick Brennan. Dr. Brennan actually has a very good publication record, publishing lots of work in cancer, let's say, but he's not using our products. The citations are citing competitors' products. We also know that from this work, that there are other researchers in the same university that are coming to our website and looking at these products, but they're not purchasing. Now, one thing you might ask yourself is, why don't we just pass this lead over to the sales organization and say, come on, guys, go and knock on some doors and see if you can close this sale. Well, I know they wouldn't be happy with this less than qualified lead. We also have a small sales organization, so using their time well is important. So we need a way to actually get into this lab and actually get this customer to interested in our products. Now, two things we know about scientists. They're inquisitive. It's probably why they went to our website. They're also skeptical. So as a consequence, they might be going to our website, seeing all this wonderful scientific data and say, they didn't really do that. I need to prove this myself. So we need a way to get these products into their hands so they can actually test them for themselves. So how are we going to do that? Well, let's see if we can build a campaign to try and drive up this product adoption. Now, we know there's actually a conference coming up, the European Society of Human Genetics. Now, we know that some of these scientists are going to be there, so that's one way of actually getting in contact with them. But we need a digital strategy too, a multi-touch program using email, trying to target these customers, suppressing obviously those ones that are interested in the scientific area. But also we can use banner ads on scientific websites that we know these scientists are visiting because they're actually publishing in them. So let's take a look at one of these ads and see what it looks like. So this is the homepage of Science Magazine, very popular scientific journal. And you can see on the right-hand side there, one of our ads celebrating 10 years of producing our NEB next generation sequencing products. Now, wouldn't you know, Dr. Brennan is actually visiting the site right now. He sees this ad, recognizes the NEB next name, and clicks on the request now to find out more. This takes him to a customized landing page, a landing page that looks like the ad, but also looks like our website. He finds all the information about our products and sees an interest in this. As a consequence, he then sees the opportunity to get one of these kits free of charge. So he fills in his information and presses request now. When he presses request now, he immediately gets a thank you email, an email thanking him for his interest, thanking him and confirming the product that he's actually requested and is going to be sent to him. Then a few days later, he receives a second email. At this time, we're shipping this sample product to him, and we're sending him information now to build and sort of nurture on his interests. Some information about how to get the best out of that product. Also some testimonials from some other customers that are actually doing the same thing. The product then is in his hands. He has some time to actually test the product. And the third step is the one I really like. The third email he gets, which is usually after he's tested this product, comes from the local sales rep. Now, the good news is for the sales rep, they actually didn't have to do anything. We just had to know their name and which account was there, so this was sent as part of the DRIP program. But the way we do this is purely on a scientific terms. We don't actually have the sales rep talk about pricing or anything commercial. He's contacting them, or she's contacting them to say, how did it go? How did your experiments work? Did you get this sort of results? If it's positive and there's a feedback form as part of that, then the rep can send another email that basically offers them a discount, a coupon if you like, for their first purchase. If it didn't work, then we actually put them in touch with our technical support organization to try and troubleshoot that issue. Now, in this example, Dr. Brennan got the product to work. He's very happy, and he's taken advantage of this discount coupon. Now, as you know, when any of you set up campaigns of this type, it never goes exactly as you plan. And in our particular case, unfortunately, there was a change to the legal terms, or sometimes, as we call the legal department, the sales prevention department, that they actually changed the legal terms. So as a consequence, we had to change on the fly all the details and the URL and website that contained these terms and conditions of sale. The good news is with snippets, we can actually do this very quickly. We can just change the URL and then have all of those assets move to this new site without having to actually change anything. Now let's skip forward a few months. This is the dashboard that we actually built to measure the success of this campaign. And what we can see here is a sort of conversion rate from our marketing activities, and also we can see the most engaged accounts. And the really good news, you can see the University of Oxford, where there was this opportunity identified by Einstein, is now one of our most engaged accounts. We had Dr. Brennan converted, and he told many of his colleagues, and then the word spread from there. And also the sales rep, having an opportunity now to meet Dr. Brennan, could talk to his colleagues as well. Now, I'm actually based in our head office in the US, heading up marketing. So for me, I want to actually see the global picture and see how that UK campaign compares to the results of these products in other parts of the world. And I can see that, in fact, Germany is not doing as well with the sale of these products. So I can contact my colleagues in Germany and say, have you seen the good results the UK is having? They can then actually take a look at these details, and if it fits, they can clone the campaign, as was highlighted by Tracy, and then use snippets to change some of the specifics, make sure the privacy terms, for example, are specific for their country. And then you go from there. So hopefully what I've shared with you here is how NEB is using these different Salesforce tools to address some of the business issues we have. So as you remember, the objective here was to develop a campaign to try and get adoption of these products and win market share. But the key here is how we've done it. We've used data, third-party data, to get a better 360 view of our customers, those citations you remember that told us more about what the customers were doing. We've also allowed to use some of the Salesforce tools to actually integrate sales into the process in a very efficient and effective way. And lastly, to make sure we keep that human touch, we knew that customers, the scientists, were actually inquisitive and skeptical. So we built a campaign built around their particular behaviors so that they would be interested in what we had to offer. And with that, I'll thank you for your attention and welcome Mike back to the stage.
You have the mic back up? Okay. There's a couple lawyers in the back corner that want to talk to you when we're done here. Okay. So first of all, thank you for sharing your story. Just going to go to the next slide here real quick. Thank you for sharing your story. We're excited at Salesforce to announce Einstein Analytics for B2B marketing. We're putting all of these incredible insights powered by AI in the hands of all of our customers. But I'm curious to hear from you through the demo and your experience in using Salesforce. What are you most excited about?
I think the Einstein Insights is really exciting. We've got all this data. We can now bring it together in one place. And as I say, give this 360 view of the customer. Data that currently we have to sort of try and work out, does that connect to that or that? Now Einstein is going to do that for us and give us the opportunity to see insights that we couldn't see without that tool.
Great. I'm going to switch gears here for a second. So we talked at the beginning about the Ocean Genome Project. Maybe just share with the audience a little about all the great work that New England Biolabs is doing to help the oceans.
Happy to. For those of you at the keynote, the opening keynote this morning, you heard a little bit about sustainability and how that's important to the Salesforce organization. Sustainability environment is also very important to New England Biolabs. It's one of our other passions beyond science. Unfortunately, as you probably know, our oceans are actually under threat. We have huge biodiversity, many different organisms that exist in the ocean. Global warming and unfortunately all the plastics that we use that end up in the ocean is actually affecting that biodiversity. And the chances are there's organisms out there that may contain, well, they could disappear altogether, but they may contain cures for cancer and all kinds of things that we don't know about today. So we helped set up a foundation called the Ocean Genome Legacy that has the objective of preserving and protecting those different organisms by actually collecting samples and sharing those samples with many scientists around the world so we can study and learn more about them and hopefully protect them and the oceans.
And how can we who are passionate about the oceans here in this room help contribute to your cause?
Thank you. Well, if it's an interest of yours, certainly you can Google Ocean Genome Legacy and take a look at the good work they're doing. And they also have a donations page if that's something that you would like to help support them to protect our oceans.
Andy Butera, thank you so much. Thank you very much. Thank you. So I see a lot of eyes out there, people that are excited about what Tracy and Andy had to say. This is not the end, this is the beginning, so you don't have to bum rush them at the end and ask them questions. You can go check out their sessions coming up over the next couple days. I'd also encourage you to go to the marketing keynote, which is on Thursday. We're going to feature some incredible Trailblazers like Berluti and Zoom and Bart. And so with that, I'd like to say thank you to our Trailblazers for sharing their stories, and thank you all for joining us today. Have a great Dreamforce.